Hello and welcome to the House of Vizsla, where we talk anything and everything Star Wars. Today I'm here with Echo and our guest, Dr. Dana from the Sith Domain podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Good, good.
Um, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. The I My voice is weird, and that it sometimes won't work when I go to speak today. So, yay!
I'm doing well. Had an exam this morning. It was not fun. So, but today we are recapping and reviewing episode 8 of season 1 of Mandalorian to help prepare you for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming in May 2026. Um, but first, we're going to ask some questions to our guest just to get to know them. So, uh, how did you get into Star Wars?
How did I get into Star Wars? I was born in 1975, so I grew with Star Wars. I had a father that introduced me to the movies, um, and I think from there was that kind of connection to my father and the whole redemption arc with Anakin and Darth Vader and his son and that relationship. My father and I's relationship was estranged later on. Um, and so I could really relate to that piece of the story, and that stuck with me for the rest of my life. I've been an avid Star Wars fan. Later on, in lots of therapy, I realized it was because of my father in many ways, uh, for better or for worse. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. I absolutely love Star Wars. My children love Star Wars. My grandson loves Star Wars. It really is a piece of me and a piece of my family.
And then, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Return of the Jedi, hands down, always, always, always. I will say that my favorite moment in all of Star Wars has to be Obi-Wan Anakin Episode 3. That saber duel, I waited my whole life for, literally. Um, but favorite movie, again, kind of the redemption arc. Luke Skywalker, what he has to go through in that, and then seeing Anakin's or Darth Vader becoming Anakin again. What a just incredible thing to see on screen, even behind a mask. Everything about that was chef's kiss, man.
And then, just tell us about the Sith Domain podcast.
Sure, sure. So we started on the Geek News Now network about a little over 2 years ago. We were gonna take the dark side Sith kind of point of view on everything. So we walked through all the different Sith lords in the beginning of those shows, and did shows on all of them. And now where we're at is whatever's kind of hot topic. And in this case, we do talk about Mando. We talk about all the stuff and things. Um, but it's always trying to take that dark side perspective, and ultimately, understanding that yes, the Sith, while have very evil tendencies and do things that we judge them by, there are lessons that we can learn from the Sith, and in things like being passionate and having a drive to a vision and not letting anything stand in your way. I have a side gig that I've started where I do leadership coaching and speaking, and I author a few books. All of that because I was driven. And it wasn't because it was Jedi minded driven. It was, I'm going to command the Force and make my own destiny. And very Sithy way to think, right? So we just look at it at that way and have a lot of fun. And I know you caught the show, and appreciate you having me on. I'm real excited to be here today and talk about my favorite episode of Mando season 1. I'm glad that worked out.
Hey, we were trying to get Spooky Java on
Mm,
earlier, just things didn't line up. So, and then
I hear you.
I saw your Discord pop up on his other creators, so I'm like, why not? Uh, give it a shot.
Sure.
So, do you have any questions for us? So,
Yeah. So how long have you two been friends, and then how long have you two been doing this? And the third, who's has to study. Fives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, uh, me, me and Echo are roommates. We knew each other. Uh, some we got to know each other over the summer. Before us, freshman year of college. We are in our sophomore year, so that would be a
Almost a
Like a
year
year and
and
a half at this
a
point.
half, almost. Yeah.
yeah, and then um, fives we got to know because he was a homemate um of ours, and he decided to move to another hall. He was gonna try to still podcast this semester, but he's a mechanical engineer and he has a 5 credit hour statics and mechanics course, and that takes up all of his time.
Absolutely.
It really helps if I'm alt-tabbed in here so that my push to talk button works. But yeah, the first interaction I really remember having with Fives was like he mentioned that he bought the Lord of the Rings trilogy at a Dollar General close to our college, and so the three of us all went to his room to watch it.
Nice.
I was also there when he bought the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And then
Awesome.
yeah, we've been podcasting since October of last year. It was originally gonna be me and a coworker from the car dealership I worked at. So I created the channel and everything, but then we never actually talked about when to start it.
Yeah.
So then I dragged my roommate and a homemate into it. So
Nice. Well, I'll ask this question before I guess we get in. What is your two favorite Star Wars movie?
I'd I'd have to say Rogue One.
Ooh, good choice.
It's a war movie, but it's also Star Wars, and you don't need to know all this lore behind it. You can get in, you can figure out what's happening just by seeing it. So
Yeah, and it also came at like one of the lower points in Disney's
Yeah.
Star Wars universe. Because was Rogue One after Last Jedi?
no, it was before.
Before, right?
So
So yeah, I'd have to say my favorite is Revenge of the Sith.
Mm.
Just seeing how they wrap up the. Okay. Uh, as I was saying, like seeing how they wrap up the prequel trilogy and kind of plug it into the main trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
and
Awesome.
if you have any other questions, ask them now. But I think it's time to go into the main discussion.
Awesome.
Obi-Wan once thought as you do.
We so main discussion introed by Darth Vader saying Obi-Wan once thought as you do. So we are gonna recap the episode 8 of season 1 of Mandalorian. It came out December 27th, 2019 on my birthday. And it's 48 minutes long. Directed by Taika Waititi and starring Pedro Pascal, Taika Waititi, and Gina Caro Esposito. I probably butchered his name. So
Closest I can figure it is like Giancarlo Esposito, but don't quote me on that. This was actually the highest rated episode out of all of Mandalorian Season 1 with an IMDb rating of 9.2 stars out of 10.
So then, yeah, we start off with a recap of the things that has happened through the episode. And yeah, in episode 7, Mando, Cara Dune, and Golf Karga pinned down in a cantina by Moff Gideon, and a whole bunch of stormtroopers arrive.
With some Dark Troopers too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they call out to Kill to take get back to the ship faster. It's a trap. And Quill doesn't make it to episode 8, and we see the scout troopers pick up Baby Yoda, the child, or Grogu, however people like to call it, and are riding back, and they call out to the command, hey, we got the asset, what should we do? And they got told, hey, stay put, and they wanted to figure out what is this creature, what's this asset, why is it so important, and decided to do some target practice while waiting, and didn't even hit that target.
Didn't even get close to the target.
And then IG-11 comes along to save the day and rescue Grogu. And yeah, those troopers don't make it. And belly of the other troopers make it to where the cantina is. And then the Mando and company are in the cantina trying to find a way out. They are trapped. The only way out that they can see is through the door that they came into the parade of stormtroopers and dark troopers, and they find the sewers that are connected to the Mandalorian court in this cantina. So they went in now, but it was blocked off, and they couldn't get into it until IG-11 comes along, and them having a massive battle. A lot of dead stormtroopers.
Apparently, IG-11 was actually stop motion recorded instead of CGI'd in. And so that's, I mean, I've heard some people say they liked that version better. Some people liked the English. Hello. Some people like this CGI better.
When I was rewatching it for the show tonight, I thought that looks a little chunky movement for CGI, but I didn't think anything else of it. But so I didn't know that, and I did notice that it was a little different in this episode than I recall seeing. So they used stop motion for IG-11. Interesting.
Yeah.
Then Moff Gideon decides to make an explosion that throws Mando back, and his metal helmet hits the ground, damaging his head.
Or as IG-11 later calls it, his central processing unit.
Then they escape into the tunnels, and they find a pile of abandoned Mandalorian armor, and the only surviving Mandalorian of this conflict that we see is the armorer, who is grabbing these scrap almost to melt it down to save the Vesco. And she explains the child's mystery powers and how it's related to the ancient enemies of Mandalorians, the Jedi, and give Mando his signet and officially naming him and the child a clan of 2. And he gets a jetpack.
You know, the only thing he's wanted since like episode 3.
And then, yeah, they make it to the lava boats to escape out, but stormtroopers are at the end of this tunnel, and there's no way out. So IG-11 decides to revert to his old programming because the child is safe in Mando's custody, and walks into the lava out in front of the stormtroopers and detonates, and they're all gone.
Kind of reminds me in the first episode, it felt like every 2 seconds he was trying to activate that protocol. So he finally gets to do it in the last episode of the season.
I also feel like IG-11 could have been like, yeah, don't touch the lava. You'll die. I won't die. I'm a droid. I can survive in lava. To call back to K2SO.
Yeah.
And then Moff Gideon's TIE Fighter shows up trying to kill Din Djarin and the rest of the company. But with his new jetpack, he launches into the air. Maybe not the best start, but lassos his lasso around his ship and darts on top of it, trying to destroy it. Kind of like Anakin in Attack of the Clones, in the ship chase. But Moff Gideon's end up defeated for now. Mando officially takes the role of the protector of the child and return the child to the mysterious Jedi around. And Greef Karga and Cara Dune stay behind to rebuild Navarro. And the final scene leaves us with a TIE fighter crashed, a Jawa, and a lightsaber emitting, and Moff Gideon emerges out, cutting himself free with the dark saber, which brings the mysterious dark saber back from animated shows into live action for the first time, setting up some future chaos. And that's the end of the recap. So, favorite moment, shot, or random thoughts on the episode?
Man, I'm dying here. If I can jump right in. The the 2 scout troopers, Polly and Jason Sudeikis, were those 2 scout troopers with Grogu in the beginning there, and their back and forth banter was in. Let me see it. No, you just want to see it. You don't want to check on. Like, all of that was so hilarious and so Star Wars funny, right? Because you get that in the movies where there's that playful banter. Oh yeah, is that right? No, 12 parsecs. No, it was perfect. And those 2 guys did it well. Yeah.
I was actually going to say that I was just watching it right before we started recording, and I feel like Tiger and I are both of them simultaneously at times.
that you can't shoot anything straight, or the because
No.
no, they didn't hit anything, did they?
The banter.
The banter.
Yeah.
Funny.
Though also the accuracy sometimes.
So, yeah, I actually I watched the episode kind of in like chunks. I watched part of it during waiting to get lunch at like 10 um 20 a.m. in the morning, and then finished it when I got food for dinner at the end of my day. So it's like kind of split apart, but I knew I couldn't make time to try to watch it with Echo like we typically do.
Yeah, I just like barely finished it right before we started recording.
Echo, your favorite moment?
Yeah, I don't know, I do like the banter between the two troopers, but I also like some of the callbacks to the other movies, shows, stuff like that. Like the E-web that they were setting up. That's the same cannon that the snow troopers had on Hoth, trying to shoot down the Falcon. Or like the incinerator troopers that came from a video game, Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. Sorry, I had to go find where that was.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment was probably the Armorer, like giving Mando the like crest and like, hey, this is your mission, this is the way. Now, like, go, save yourself. Don't stay back for me. Leave me behind. As Mandalorian was like, hey, leave me behind to Cara Dune and IG-11. Like, hey, leave me alone. Let me die a royal. And the Armorer was like, hey, go, save yourself. Protect the child. I'll stay back. And then the Armorer fighting all the stormtroopers with just like sharp tools.
Yeah.
So
Of course, you know, if the armor survived the first time they came through, there was a more than likely chance she was going to be able to beat them the second time as well.
So
Yeah.
any other thoughts?
Yeah. That's the first time we see, like you said, Darksaber in live action, and to know the history of it makes you question, how did he get it straight away, right? Like, so how did you end up with this? Because we've seen it change hands several times. Sorry, House Vizsla, that Maul took it from Paz there, but we actually used that Vizsla duel with Maul and its importance. Talked about it a couple episodes ago because it was so important for Maul to get the Darksaber and rule Mandalore at that point.
Yeah.
But then he got beat by Sidious. So, but whatever. The point is, we need to know, right, when we see it. Oh crap, the Darksaber. How do you get it? So,
And
yeah, on that topic, when I first watched it, I hadn't seen like the final few seasons of Clone Wars or Rebels at all, so I had basically no clue what the Darksaber was.
I knew the Darksaber when I saw it, when I watched it, like I think with my family, and it took us forever to get through the first season because we didn't have Disney Plus when it came out. I think it took us maybe a whole nother, maybe like a month or two later to actually get it. But I was like, yeah, that's a Darksaber. I know where this is from. But I remember hearing a clip from Sam Witwer on the set of Solo, and basically was like, they were like, hey, we want you with like your double-bladed lightsaber, and he's like, yeah, that lightsable's gone. You have this
Mm.
choice or this choice. And it was the dark saber or the other. And he was like, if you do the dark saber, it's all these other can of worms. And
Mm-hmm.
that didn't happen. So I remember saying that, and I'm like, that's cool.
I
Yeah,
gotta love that guy, right? He's so in tune to the lore and continuity, right?
Yeah.
I love it.
I am looking forward to more Shadow Lord coming out soon. That that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yes, please.
So, um,
I've always liked the character of Moff Gideon. I think it's a real character that would exist in the Star Wars universe from a perspective of he's a Moff that has lost some power and is trying to gain power back in the vacuum that exists. And all the books that I read within Legends that happened right after the fall of the Empire, Moffs were everywhere trying to gain like power and maintain some sense of rule when there was none. And so I felt that he was, of course, directed well with Taika Waititi, but written well. That character was, and I, of course, in season 2 we get more of him. But to know that Esposito, who, if you watched Breaking Bad and you watched Better Call Saul, played the Chicken Man, like the drug dealing Chicken Man, to Moff Gideon, I don't think it was a huge stretch for him, but he sure did it well, for sure.
yeah, I I really enjoyed Moff Gideon. I think it like watching it originally. I'm like, this reminds me of like a lesser Thrawn from like Rebels,
Yeah.
like knowing the people in the cantina like by name, where they're from, what they do as a job, and it's like you remind me a lot of Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and I can't say that I've read many like Legends or even Disney's new canon books, but I have read the Alphabet Squadron series, which would take place at a similar time to this. And like you said, the Moff Gideon does fit in almost perfectly with like the characters in that series,
Mm-hmm.
trying to gain any power that they can back.
Yeah. Didn't Favreau? Did you say that who the writer was of this episode? I didn't catch that.
it
Uh,
only shows up John Favreau, George Lucas, and IMDb. So
Okay. Yeah, and Favreau being who he is, right? Like, absolutely would call that into the show.
as
Um,
as well as Dave Filoni being one of the directors.
absolutely.
So
Yeah. The callback to his past, where we get a little more reveal, I thought was awesome. Right before we see him for the first time.
yeah,
Um, I thought that was really well done. It gave us a better understanding, and that's kind of how we see it, like in the comics. I'm old. I'm showing my age. The comics with Boba, how he was found, and I don't know if that's still canon or not, but at one time he was, just like Din, he was left behind by his family that was under attack and whatever, and he was hiding in like this culvert, and you know, he was a foundling, and the Mandalorians took him under his wing.
also reminds
That's the
me
way
of,
that happened there.
also reminds me a lot of like Jin also
Jenner, so
in Rogue
yeah.
One. Just like, hey, go hide here.
Mm-hmm. The door's open, and there's some crazy old guy trying to pull you out of there. Lies. No.
yeah, and then I did notice in the episode the way that like Grogu was looking over Mando's shoulder was the same way that the young Din was looking over the
Mm,
unnamed Mandalorian's shoulder as they rocketed him out of uh, whatever planet he was from.
mm. That's right.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I think If there was anything else from this episode for me that really stood out, it was when he did use his jetpack for the first time, and we saw Ray do the jump over as well later on, right? Because this was before, I believe, Ray jumps over the
I think
Kylo's
same
Yeah,
time.
that's
same time.
I think
2019.
2019.
is that when Rise of Skywalker came out?
I try to forget that.
Same.
Valid.
That scene was cool though, but yeah, no.
It came out
But I like that.
December
Okay.
20th, 2019. So 7 days
7
yeah.
days before.
later. So
So we got to see that 7 days prior. I thought that was cool, and the whole, you know, using his grappling hook to grab on, getting drugged behind. I thought that was a little unrealistic, having just had his CPU backed, that he would be able to do that. But you know what? In my defense, I've never had Bacta. Maybe it works that fast. I don't know.
Well, you know, it's special IG droid unit back to
IG,
so
yeah,
it
there you go.
works faster
as
somehow.
well as this weird thing called Disney plot magic that
Yeah.
just makes things happen.
Yes. But when in that scene, when he slaps on the detonator and Moff Gideon realizes what's up, that split second. Again, Esposito's a heck of an actor, man. You I watched it in whenever I have to watch something for the show, I do it in my visor, so I can have a big screen, and so I'm watching Mando on a virtual reality. His screen is big, and you're just engrossed, and you see this happening and this action, and he puts it on, and he see on his screen, and he like freaks out. Just chef's kiss again, man. That dude, 100%, and of course, Taika Waititi directing him to do those things, but so good. I like that scene because it's so immersive. You're drawn right to it. There's a lot of action, but it all makes sense. Nothing is done just to do it because it looks cool to spin a lightsaber or something, right? Everything is intentional and purposeful. It's so clean, so good. Love that scene.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. I love the jokes, the banter, but
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing with that scene is like we can see the motions that Moff Gideon's making to fly, and then what the TIE fighter is actually doing. I cannot find any correlation between the way he moves his hands and the way the TIE fighter moves. Like at one point he just like does a quick like sideways motion but then back straight. And the TIE fighter does a complete rollover.
Hey, I would never want to fly a TIE fighter because those are not the best ship. Oh, best starfighter in the galaxy. I'd rather
No.
fly an X-wing. So
I mean, it is your background.
it is.
hey, have to keep it the same here and there. So
I like that you put Mustafar for mine. This is
yeah.
awesome.
So Sith Dominion.
I am wearing my Darth Maul jersey today, though.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not wearing any of my podcast merch. That
Not
was
my.
weeks. That was a couple days ago that I was wearing it.
Of course,
So,
I can't say much because my podcast merch consists of a singular T-shirt.
We use the Star Wars lettering and the whatever for our logo. You can barely see it. I don't know why. But after I printed a whole bunch of stuff, like a first round of printing from the shop, I got dinged for copyright because we use the Sith logo in it and all the stuff. So I had to totally rebrand after all that.
yeah,
So,
nothing from like the helmet or anything. But also it's not really the Mandalorian helmet isn't really an icon of Lucasfilm, like the Sith logo or the Jedi Order
Now, if we were to
logo.
use the Mandalorian crest, perhaps, then we could get copyright struck.
But I think we've used too many photos before and stuff, but it happens. I think I haven't been copyrighted on this channel yet. So
Yet being keyword.
Yet. Yeah, we had a whole episode 94 was totally banned off YouTube live while we were doing it. And that because we got hit twice in a row for copyright. And yeah, it's still up. You can go see it, but it's only audio because it was the videos that got us. Showing video clips is so fun because you get to share that experience with your viewers. I'm not gonna assume, but I don't make any money off my show. I do it for the fun, right? And
yeah,
so
we
why would
make-
you kill me over that? Right? Like, don't disconnect me because I'm having fun and we're just talking about your show, which will make people go and watch your show.
Yeah, we don't make
Yeah.
money yet. The only money we've
Yet.
made from merch is ourselves buying it.
Right.
Yeah,
I hear
like
you, man.
I know Tiger's bought a few pieces of merch. I've bought one piece of merch. Fives has bought a few pieces of merch, and then we bought like one or two for like I forget what the event was.
It was a giveaway for
Giveaway?
Skeleton Crew, trying to get
Ah,
people
yeah.
to join our Discord, and it was Fives' brother who won it.
Nice.
So,
So with the show, there one of the things that I thought was cool that I would love to hear your perspectives on, with the armorer, the part that the armorer plays is kind of, in my opinion, that sage wisdom Obi-Wan ish to Din Djarin. I mean, do you guys kind of see that too, or feel that just in the way she handled herself with him, etc.?
yeah, I think both the Armorer and Quail, both the
And Quill,
the wisdom to Mando.
Yeah, I feel like actually feel like the armor is a bit more akin to Yoda, just because like she's the one in charge of the entire order of Mandalorians, kind of like Yoda in the Jedi Order,
And then
and also sometimes occasionally cryptic wisdom as well.
And then I've thought, like, just looking at the Armorer's helmet with like the Darth Maul horns on the helmet, like that's some connection to Darth Maul's Death Watch, because the Children of the Watch is a subset of Death Watch, because they are Children of the Watch. So seems something might be connected there that we don't know, and they haven't expanded upon it further.
I mean, hopefully they'll expand upon it in the movie, because it's really interesting to see any connections they make there.
I bet they won't, sadly.
Did we see the Razor Crest in the trailer?
Yes. The Razor Crest was in the trailer, but it's a new Razor Crest. The movie's taking place right after maybe a couple months after season 3, because it was going to be a whole season 4 of Mandalorian, but I think Disney was like, hey, can you convert that into a movie for us? So
Because was it season 1 that was recorded as if it were a movie and then split up into the episodes?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I have a lore master that's for that on my show that quickly finds that stuff. My son Zane, yeah, he's the lore master.
That's typically Echo bringing random bits of detail and me mainly talking.
You do not want to know how many tabs I usually have pulled up on my secondary monitor.
But I think it's time to do the count to figure out the scale. So,
Right.
Rating from 0 to 10, 0 being the worst episode ever, 10 being the best out of everything else we've seen. So it's up in the air who wants to go first. So
I can go first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give this one a 9. I really like it, and I feel like it does have a good, what's the word? Rewatchability. But yeah, it's a good episode. I feel like it's one of the best, but I feel like there may be like one or two in later seasons that might be a little better than it.
I will give this an 8.5. I think later seasons definitely battle, but Andor has some really great moments in the second season, and I think nothing can take those scores away unless there's a third season of Andor coming out. Probably.
Probably unlikely though, because it basically took us up to where we meet Cassian in Rogue One.
That sucks. Give me more Andor. I'll watch every episode of Andor. And when you said Andor, I was like, no other TV. I know that's what that's what I agreed to when I came on. But man, it's tough because I think within the Mando universe, this single episode is one of the best television episodes up to that point we've seen. Period.
Right.
So I definitely give it a 9 of 10 overall because, like you said, Echo rewatchability. It's just really well done. But when you put it up against everything else, that means I probably have a bunch of 9s and 10s because of Andor. But man, yeah, 9.
Yeah, and like you say, I have nothing wrong with having a whole bunch of 9s and 10s.
That means something's good in the mix. So, and that gives us a score of 8.8, 3 repeating Mando heads. So that is nice. I think maybe might have been one of the highest so far this season. I can't keep track of it. I have to remember differential equation formulas instead.
I think it is the highest that we've gotten this season.
Yeah. But I think it's time for Will of the Force, which is where we propose a scenario. No one knows it ahead of time besides the person who created it. I know it because I had to test it. So I have to get it pulled up, and that's going to take some time. But and then
the Force is with me, and I am with the Force, and I fear nothing, for all this as the Force wills it.
So I'm going to throw up the screen. It's should have been set up. If you don't hear audio, tell me to stop and I'll reshare it. So.
Hey guys, Fives here with the Will of the Force question for you today.
I don't hear audio.
I probably have needed to. For window, it never keeps share audio. So, second time, worth a shot.
Hey guys, Fives here with the Will of the Force question for you today. So I know you guys are probably not there yet in your review of The Mandalorian, but what if Bo-Katan had accepted the Darksaber from the Mandalorian the first time? Would the Mandalorians be united faster, or would they still fall? Let me know what you guys think.
So, yeah, that is our scenario. Come up with an answer. You can't change it based off of what you hear from other people. Get it fixed on your end. So, yeah. whatever someone says, you can't change your answer based off of it. So yeah, I would say it would have probably helped it advance quicker, but I think there would still be some divide based off of different factions of Mandalorians and their different belief systems within the whole subculture of being a Mandalorian.
Yeah, like, did she win it in combat, or was it another gift that was freely given?
It was gifted in Rebels to Bo-Katan, and then in Mandalorian in the next season, it was given to Bo-Katan, like, hey, here, have it. I don't want it. And she was like, no. It wasn't until season 3 when she actually won it in combat. So.
Yeah, I say she would have actually had a harder time because she had already received it outside of combat. She had already tried to use it to unite Mandalore. And then the Empire went and raised Mandalore. So I feel like if she tried again with the Dark Saber without actually winning it, then we would run into the same problem.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely some timing that's involved. There were experiences that she had to encounter so that others could see that she had the X factor, that she could win it, but also has the leadership X factor of we see what she's done, we see how she can unite us now. I guess I know there was the whole discussion, and you take off your helmets and you do, like, all that stuff, but in the end, she had to, I think, get to a specific kind of status amongst everybody so that that could happen.
As well as probably a mental status too, because your sister was in charge, killed, then you tried taking the reins, and then everything got destroyed when you were in charge, and it was just like, it was a downhill spiral, and trying to build it up to, oh, this place has been destroyed, and building up from there would be hard mentally for any leader.
At this rate, no one on Mandalore, or no Mandalorians are ever going to trust that family ever again. With the amount of times they've gotten their planet or people or everything destroyed.
But I think that's it for Will of the Force. Any other last final thoughts on the episode? Any thoughts of what could happen in the movie that's coming out?
There's the chatter, which is constantly, it's just going to be a long episode. We fans can never be satisfied wholly, so I don't like to listen to them. I don't have any expectations myself for the movie. I just want to go in and not have any preconceived anything and just enjoy it, hopefully. But I know that if it doesn't go the way that I hope it goes, I'll be probably frustrated. But I'm looking forward to the movie, certainly.
Same.
The trailer, though, didn't do it any favors. I think it was
also released at just a bad time, just in the world. I forget when it was released exactly.
Is this the point where I admit I still haven't seen the trailer yet?
The trailer was out for 2 weeks before I saw it. I watched it live on our show because I hadn't seen it yet.
So yeah. I actually watched it 3 times within like 3 hours of it releasing, I was taking notes on my tablet and like trailer. Shout it. Hey, trailer just dropped. And then after class, watched it. Then after my next class, watched it, and then watched it again later live. So that was fun. But
Yeah, I didn't even know they released it until Tiger sent me a Discord message about it.
um, but yeah, forget what. I think it came out back in like when we were recording episode 3. I think.
According to YouTube, it was 1 month ago.
So, yeah. But I think just trying to get Star Wars fans back into the theater for a movie. We saw what happened with like looking at history for Phantom Menace. For us looking back, how much of a draw it was, and then looking at The Force Awakens and just how much fanfare was from like, hey, Star Wars is back in theaters, even though the rest we don't want to talk about. It was still like a cool historic moment. So, but I think with that said, I think it's a great place to wrap up the show for today. There's going to be a link in the description to the Sith Domain podcast. Definitely suggest checking them out. So, any upcoming podcasts you want to mention?
Sure. We have this next week. We broadcast live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And then those episodes go to audio and get uploaded to Spotify, Apple Podcast, etc. within the next few days after we air live, unless we get kicked off, and then it takes a little longer because I got to clean it up. But next week we do not have a show this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we will have another live show. I don't know what we're doing, and this might interest you too. If you're interested in D&D, we have a SW5E campaign that we're going to be starting in our Discord channel. So go to my social links and you'll find our Discord link. Go check that out. Join us. You'll see a D&D channel in there, and come be a part of that. I just created my first. I've never played D&D, so just created my first. I got a phone call at dinner tonight. Hey, can you save that as a JSON and upload it? Okay, we got it, because we're going to use the D20 site and all the stuff to play. It's going to be fun. So I would highly suggest you guys jump over to my Discord, the Sith Dominion, and just check us out. 1, but 2, we do those kind of things too in our Discord. So, and thank you guys for having me on. I had a blast tonight. I loved the Mandalorian and loved that episode, and being here with you guys was fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank
Absolutely.
you. With that said here, make sure to join our Discord too. Our link is in the description. You can keep up to date. We may have some more clan games within the House of Vizsla in the future. But make sure to subscribe here on YouTube for House of Vizsla. Check out Sith Domain, and then next day on our audio platforms. But with that said, may the Force be with you.